You know what? Maybe we can start right here. So the foreleg, we've got the most prominent shin bone that's, most evident to us here. And of course, we've got another bone in there. And how these bones rotate and relate to the thigh bone can greatly influence how our hip moves. So I don't expect this to be like a revolutionary amount of tibial shift, but we're going to start right into the calf and around the shin bone. So I'm just going to kind of create a little pressure, kind of moving the tibia down toward the ground. And I'm just kind of moving and getting a sense of the tone of those calves, those shin muscles, calf muscles. So it's a little bit of squishing, not only the soft tissue, but then kind of moving, pushing the thigh bone. And then I can also grab the femur, the shin bone, the femur, the thigh bone, and kind of push them in just slightly different ways. So I have my two hands. We'll do the other side. So it doesn't have to be anything exact or precise, but at least you start to get a manual feeling of the calf, how it's connected to the bone, or does it feel like it's kind of adhered to the bone? Does it slip and slide around the bone? Is the shin bone, can you feel where the shin bone becomes the knee joint? And this foreleg, I'm kind of playing around with it, has a lot to do with the gonads and the glands of going. So maybe I'll explore that a little later on next week. If you've had sprains or strains around the ankle, sometimes these muscles will splint. They'll get really protectively grabby. So you might. All right. Cool. So we pushed, we probed. Let's feel if those knees. All right. And not only that, like once we take our seat now, we just have a little more sensitivity for the lower part of our body. Hey, y'all. Glad you're here. And let's connect to our Ujjayi breath. So if we focus momentarily between the navel and the pubic bone, about midway, And if we were to kind of imagine a circumference, I go right over the top of the hip bone. I just want to spend some moments breathing and sensing in and through this hip bone circumference. Okay, so very close to this, we have bladder, we have gonads. We have those deep hip muscles, the psoas. And those lower backbones. And can you sense that area effortlessly lifting, lightening, uncollapsing? And I'll even recommend, to help you feel that, if you want to use just ounces of fingertip pressure, you can use that. I'm using the fingertip pressure in service of feeling the area just a little below my navel. Feel the left side, feel the right side. All right. Now, to help us go a little more deeply, and by go deeply, I mean feel more deeply, we're going to do our pranayama from hands and knees. And let me describe a few points here. So from hands and knees, I'm going to allow my thighs and my abdomen to move a little closer to one another than 90 degrees. Okay. So I'm letting my belly get really, really close to my thighs. And I think I like having my forearms down. I think I like forearms on block, but I'm just got a little pitch. Want to join? Join. Mm-hmm. I'll talk us in. So just help yourself in, and I'll just keep pointing at some details. There's just too many details to describe it first. So one is letting the abdomen go. Now for many of us up near the adrenal area, kind of the bottom of the ribs, there can be a little hesitation, to release. So we're going to spend some breaths here to feel the back side of the body relax. Now by taking this angle, this hip angle, less than 90 degrees, I'm helping my perineum relax. Because if I were to take a hands and knees position and kind of lift or do anything with the spine, the chances are so high that I would contract or cut off the energy and the movement at the hip area, at the anus, at the perineum. And the other thing I'm allowing for here in this hands and knees, connecting to breath, deep belly, relaxed breaths, is I'm letting the thigh bone kind of sink into the socket. So I'm just permitting the bone to nest into the socket more fully, more, so there's some contact. And now feel again that circumference that would go around the hip bone. So this is the altitude that ovaries would be. This is the altitude in the torso that vas deferens would be. Right up. Let's just kind of get a sense of that area and relaxing that area. And start to connect it, or just inquire, what's the relationship here to my shins? That may feel like a little stretch, a leap from going to the waist area, the second chakra area, to the shin bones. Okay. I keep relaxing the belly. Relaxing in the low back. And start to intimate, pushing through one shin, as if you're pushing that shin back. And just feel if there's a contraction or a connection through the pelvis. Okay. And now I am going to start to make inches of forward movement. So as I press through a shin or shins, I feel my shin going back, and I feel my hips, that waistband area, moving forward or toward the head. Now, if you can see me, I'm really just moving in the matter of an inch. It's more about the feeling of the shin propelling the torso toward the head. And we'll put this into a few more poses so you can make this connection a multitude of ways today. So I'm feeling my shin kind of move back away from my head, and my waist moves forward in the direction of my head. So this is just like the very, very initiative beginnings of propulsion. Yep, that's it, Bridget, that's it. Great. We'll rest that. Have a seat. So that's kind of the bare template that we'll be working with today. Something about the legs and the motion, something that pertains to the pelvic abdominal cavity, the gonads, motion. Left leg down on the ground. And my right leg is bent. My right knee points toward the sky. We'll be twisting to our right. Okay. Now, usually we order up flexing the foot. You might want to try pointing your left foot. This is the ground foot. You might want to try to point that. Because when I point this foot, do you feel how you can intend that shin going back? I'm going to And what happens when you intend that shin going back? Something goes on right here. Inhale, set the right hand down, hook the left arm over your thigh or around your thigh. And as you exhale, reach through the left shin, left big toe. Feel the waistband lifting up, the low back lifting up. Feel these not as separate entities, but just start to inquire the relationship between the shin, kind of the intentionality of that shin bone. Which way does it move? And the trunk, which way does it move? And feel the right shin bone. That's not a static object. Can you feel that? It's subtle, but man, it's really, if you have that subtle perception, it can be really pronounced. Shin bones moving in their respective direction. You feel how that already starts to spiral and support and move that lowest belly area? Feel how soft that can be in the lower gut around the bladder area, second chakra area. And release. We'll switch sides. So our right leg will go to the ground, and our left leg steps over. Okay. So if you have the ability to unflex the right foot, so instead of the active foot where we create a little hook with the foot and the ankle, I'm going to point back through the right big toe. So in that point, you start to send that right shin back. Right? And I'm kind of exaggerating, but if I just motion, if I just intend that through my right shin, that you can start to feel, right? Set the left hand down. We'll bring this right arm over or around the leg. And just feel if there's a intentionality to the shin's direction. Does that pertain to the low belly? What do you feel in the low belly? Because when we change these sides, some of us may have had some things going on the left side of the body to the right side of the body. Can you tap into that quality? Is there a quality of subtle propulsion? Not the power of propulsion, simply the motion of propulsion. We'll get to the power of propulsion another week. And release. Inhale, we'll unwind. All right. Let's lie on our back as we set up for elbow to knee. Now you can play around with different ankle shapes. So as we're doing this elbow to knee, you can play around with pointing and reaching out through the big toe. You can play with pressing through the ball mount of the foot. Okay. I'll give you slightly different access through the calf and the knee. Okay. Inhale, we'll float our head and our shoulders off the ground. And pausing right here, feel just near the hip bones, that second chakra, that waistband area. And now exhale, reach out through the left leg and feel the direction of the shin bones. Are they taking a direction? Draw the low belly down. Inhale, bend left knee. Exhale, right leg reaches out. Now draw the belly down, but also drawing the belly toward the shoulder blades. Inhale, bend right knee. I'm going to suggest another detail, another intentional motion here. Curl tailbone, exhale, left leg reaches. Now as the shin bone reaches away from the head, draw the belly in toward the head. It's almost like taffy, right? Inhale, bend that left knee. You can curl tailbone. Exhale, right leg reaches out. As the shin moves away from the pelvis and away from the head, draw the belly in. Feel the low belly moving toward the head. It's almost like you're lengthening through that low belly. Let's continue. Let's do like 4 more on each side, just to give us a lot of practice feeling this kind of these opposing movements, these so what's the opposition here? The shin, the leg goes one way, and these gland bodies can be felt moving the other way. So there's a lengthening in the low back, in the reproductive organ area. So this whole waist, instead of smushing down, reaching the left leg out, feel how this lengthens. Lift the chest up. There you go. So I'm trying to be very clear that there's this lengthening and softening through the reproductive organ area. And it's not just a smashing down of the abdomen into the area. There you go. So these moves can be sublimely soft. There. You feel the difference? Just stay in contact right here. Don't suck it in. Feel like this whole area. Yes. When you're through with that, I can give you another visual demonstration. Turn to a side when you're through. Press your way up because we'll be working Dolphin here in a moment. Let's say this is my reproductive area. Let's say this is my shin. Right? So I don't just, the shin doesn't just, and I can't just torso my way this way. I'm using the shin to feel that pelvic abdominal cavity. Right, I hope. So this is what I meant by taffy. Right, and if you want to see it in, again, in that framework, right? Right, if I just move so I'm just feeling that linkage of, as I propel, how does that even link to movement or the sense of, I had a coach who would always say, you don't fire a cannon from a canoe. Right? So it's that notion of just got to be play in both directions. All right, let's set up for Dolphin. And when you're ready, exhale, press the knees off the ground. Oh yeah, and I told you should have taken both. I could have had two wedges for 2 feet. All right, so we're going to try this out. Inhale, smoothly raise the right foot off the ground. Now, as you reach back to that right shin, can you feel the area around the waist softening? Is there any connection whatsoever? There's no wrong answer. We're simply inquiring into the relationship between the foreleg and what would be like the second chakra area, the waistband area, the gonad area. Let's feel if there's any connection whatsoever. And let's switch sides. So we'll set the right foot down. And elevate the left leg. And we'll set the left leg down, gently set knees down. We'll rest a moment. Okay. So we do a little bit of lunges at the wall, really kind of a perfect place to study this. So if you've got some cushion, oops, and a little bit of wall, let's do it. Okay, so I'm getting plenty of cushion for the knee. I'm just going right knee in first. I don't think it really matters. And when I place the right foot up the wall, my big toes got a pointing up. So there's that point again. Choose an easy place to begin. Easy meaning it's not too muscularly strenuous or stretchy. And do something really simple to begin. Feel what happens when you simply intend your right shin bone up the wall. Hey there. Just intend. It's not like muscle. It's not. So maybe you can feel that there is a difference to have an intention, a motion intention through this shin, and to not. As you start to upright your trunk over your pelvis, feel that hip, waist area grow soft. And just feel if there's any vertical propulsion. Connect to breath right in that navel area, that sacral area. That's still a little high. Come down a little bit lower. And then come down a little bit lower. And keep coming a little, you're still kind of like, you're getting there. Just sensation. Where your sensing is located. So inhabiting the low belly area. With this relationship, I don't need to do any tucking of the tailbone. Right? I don't need to do any like clamping down of the perineum or with the butt cheeks or around the tailbone. Let's switch sides. So our first move is take an easy position. Easy meaning it's easy on the psyche. It's easy to work and be here. The big toe, the left big toe, and it points up. And first, we're just feeling if there's any connection between what the shin is doing and what we're feeling around our pelvic area. So if I'm just kind of smashing the shin into the wall, I mean, I can create some sensation, but I'm suggesting that there's a relationship of propelling, motion's initiation between the shin and the lower abdomen pelvic area. So just feel if any shin intentionality, directionality. Right. If I intend my shin bone up the wall, which is away from my head, can you feel that subtle propulsion that we were maybe noticing in that twist earlier? Study it with your breath. Oftentimes when we hesitate on acting, we're also holding our breath. So this isn't just propulsion of movement from a physical sense, though that's a huge part of it, that infantile kind of just starting to navigate towards something interesting. But also that propulsion of I want to do something, I want to initiate an action, and I overthunk. I don't want to really do that thing anymore. Right? The initiation to act, the initiation of movement, that's in our breath. All right, let's release from here. All right. Let's keep our mats near the wall, and we'll be setting up Dolphin at the wall. We'll work one leg away from the wall at a time. So we'll set up. Elbows under shoulders, feet near the wall. Set the forearms out. Inhaling into the waist, hip bone area. Exhale the knees off the ground. Inhale, step one foot to wall, hip height. And we'll step the other one up, hip height. Now, of course, you can remain here. That's perfect. Or you can lift one leg away from the wall. If you choose to reach one leg, feel the relationship between the shin and the low belly. So we're just starting to feed that connection. We're just starting to feed the possibility of there being a relationship. This is kind of that energy of I want to do something, I go, I move to do something. Let's switch sides. So if you're working leg up or leg away, this would be the time to switch. That's it, Yen. And feel if the shin can lift and soften and lengthen through the waist. The waist, the low back, the low belly. Good. Let's walk the feet down. You know, you made a really good point. I'm just going to try something out with us. You're welcome to watch. I'm just going to talk through what I think I saw. because this might actually be better for our purposes. So in the very beginning, I had kind of, we're relaxing the pelvic floor by kind of sinking the belly back toward the thigh. So I am kind of wondering if there might be like some of you may benefit from just exploring working with slightly bent knees. So you're welcome to do it now. I'll just give a few moments if you want to try it. If you'd rather rest, that's perfect. Now, if I bend the knees, I'm just kind of thinking out loud here. You may feel a little bit of an unstructured low back. You might feel it kind of waver. But you may feel that it's not stressing your low back or your sacrum. Some of us get into those 90-degree angles, and that's when our sacrum, our back, and our hips start to feel a little starts to go into those pain registries. So just by keeping the hips a little bit flexed, the back, you may have a softer perception of the low back. Yeah, that's it, that's it. There you go. And just a short little trial, just sometimes I see things, so I just try them out and say things. Different access, right? All right, let's move away from the wall, or where you would like to do more work. We're going to try this out in some stances, because this will be germane to our warrior stances and all the things. Chair pose. Inhale, bend knees, reach the arms up. Exhaling, fold. And if you want to keep the knees bent a little bit so that you're not like locking off or closing down around the seat, the perineum, that's perfectly fine. Inhale, monkey, press with the hands, the chest away from the lap. So lengthening through the waist, the low belly. Set the hands down, exhaling, we'll step back and we'll lower all the way down to the ground. Set the hands forward. Here we get a little play. Shins, send them backward. Inhale. Lengthening the low belly. Diaphragm, chest forward, cobra. Exhale, lower, downward dog. Warrior one. Inhale, step the right foot forward. Draw the arms up. So first you're just sensing a connection, if any. We can just play with the left side here. So left side, low back, left side, ovary. Again, talk about gonads, male anatomy. This, you would have to connect the vas deferens to the scrotum. Okay. But it's the same altitude. The same altitude as energetically similar across genitalia. Send that shin bone, or just feel the shin bone propelling right here. Which way? Relationship. There you go. So it's not a, yeah. So, kind of just playing. And of course, you can play with just kind of forgetting or collapsing your sense of the left shin and feel what happens in that left low back and that left. Like just kind of let the shin go and feel how that whole area just kind of a bloop. The shin goes back. Just let the butt relax, let the perineum relax, let the tailbone relax. Feel the connection, shin bone, propels. There you go, that's it. It's much softer, right? Super soft. Good, twisting warrior. Exhaling, we'll hook that left elbow over the right thigh. This is a great place to feel that forward propulsion. Again, it's so subtle. Are you actually moving? Probably not more than a centimeter, but you can feel in this position how pressing through the shin and the ankle bones lend itself that pelvic abdominal kind of moving in the direction of the head. So there's quite a bit of softening through that left side. First, feel if there's a relationship. You may just be sensing, where's my shin? Where's the place where left ovary might be? That gonadal energy. There you go, there you go. Yeah, a lot softer, right? Yeah. I find that when that connection gets stoked for me, there's just immeasurable softness. Yes. And that will start to inform the adrenals. That will start to inform these other glandular bodies up the spine. There you go. Yes, yes, yes. That's still super soft. That's great. Good. Inhale, unwind. We'll set the hands down. Nice find. Exhale, chaturanga will lower. Inhale, the shins go back. Ovary bladder get propelled forward. Cobra, upward dog. Exhale, my hands push those bodies back. Now in downward dog, you can keep a little bend in the knees. That's really nice if you have a tendency to clamp down or dampen down on the perineum or the buttock or the sacral area. Just feel how that little bend of the knees can actually soften a lot energetically at the base of the pelvis. Let's do that warrior on the other side. Inhale, step your left foot forward. Now draw the arms up. We're giving this plenty of time, just because this is a new cue for us. This is might be a new connection we're making in the body. Mm-hmm. Yes, yes, Amy, yes. Yes, yes. That's it, yeah, that's it. So that's the leg movement, and just we'll feel and we'll notice if that, yes, yes, it does start to translate as, in this position, verticality. Soften. And I'm really just feeling the direction of the shin bones. I'm really just, I'm using bones to take the musculature out of it. Yes, that's it. That's the bone movement. That's it. If I move the bone, I can feel the direction. If I move the muscles, I get a whole bunch of other information. That's it. Yes. Does that feel different, moving the bone, moving the muscle? The bones give me a direction. There you go. Good, maintain, and now feel how that shin bone movement, if there's any translation through the vertical, right through the, yes, there you go. There you go. If you feel a connection, just let the breath kind of circulate there, and it just helps. It helps us get it. It helps us maintain it. It helps us marinate in the connection. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And what a different pose when I don't have to manage all the muscles. Here's the twisting warrior. On exhale, we'll hook the right elbow over the left thigh. I want to be very clear. We're being super light, very gentle when it comes to these glandular bodies. We're not trying to like push them or pump them. We're just breathing and connecting through them, getting a sense of where are they? What is the quality of movement and movement initiation herein? Yeah. The shin bones also rotate. So part of our massaging and kind of pushing around the shin bone is to feel that they can rotate. They rotate under the thigh bone. So you start to feel that rotation. There you go. Inhale. When you unwind, we'll set the hands down. Just set the knees down. I just want to show you this move. Just to have a rest. Lots of rest for glands. So this is what's really cool. So I'm going to just piece this together little by little. My foreleg, my shin bones, as I connect through kind of ovary area, right, forward. Which, when I get to upward dog, it's very straightforward. I'm propelling with the foreleg. Okay. Otherwise, without that connection between the leg and the ankle and here, now I'm just kind of beholden to like pushing down, and things are feeling stuck in the pelvis and the back, and I got to do something with the shoulders, and I have to pull them this way and pull and push and clench and squeeze and protect. And when I can feel that shin low belly connection, it just becomes one more way to clearly express moving, propelling, directionality, right? You're welcome to try it from cobra or from upward dog. What I was just doing was just creating a little propulsion. That's it, just my shin bones. Feeling with breath, feeling those low belly areas. Feeling that low belly go forward, effortless. Exhale, downward dog. All right, interlock. Inhale, step the right foot forward. So we're setting up Interlock Warrior. I'm starting with my right hand on the ground, just my left shin bone. I'm sending it back. I'm propelling my low belly forward. So again, shin, low belly. So just first get a sense of, is there that propulsive relationship? And sometimes I'll even just rock a little bit to feel it in a very concrete way, like, oh yeah, my shin moves me forward. Very concrete. And when you've got the concrete motion, and feel it more subtly, more energetically. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't matter if the hands link or not. We're just playing around with this connection, this forward motion, this propulsory. This movement initiation. There you go. That's it, Yen, that's it. Soften through that left side waist, under the navel. Soften, soften, soften. There you go. That's the move. Don't stiffen here. You don't have to lock up under the kneecap. Just feel all the way to the ankle bone. There you go. When we release, inhale, set the hands down. Exhale, chaturanga. We'll step that right foot back. Now you can set the knees down. And if you just want to practice that rocking, that connection of shins pressing back, low belly propelling forward, that's a perfect amount of upward dog for our purposes today. If you want to turn that into cobra, if you want to turn that motion into upward dog, Exhale, downward dog. Start with the right ankle. Inhale. Feel the ankle bones, the right shin bones, pressing you forward for interlock. That's left foot forward. Some of us forgot that our right shin was actually propelling us that way. So it might be worth a couple of tries. My right shin bones are pressing back, propelling my pelvic, that's it, abdominal area forward. So we're getting it, we're getting it. Again, the right shin bones. Do they have some directionality? Does it pertain to this low belly, low back area? What's been really liberating for me as I'm kind of exploring some more things like this is that moving from the organs and moving from the glands and moving from these non-muscular places has been a great freedom. Like there's a filter, there's a kind of a data set of muscular information that need not be present to color perception. So just getting another perception of movement that's different than what my muscles are capable of learning. We have a lot of these glandular movements and initiatives before we really have a lot of muscle development and neuromuscular learning. So we're moving before our muscles can move us. We're moving before we have muscles. There we go. Let's release. Inhale, set the hands down. Exhaling, let's step back. If you want to set the knees down and just play with that. Can I feel the shins going back and and you can do it quickly. You can do it carefully or slowly. But it's this motion that I'm translating into upward dog or cobra. Shins connect to low back. Exhaling, downward dog. You can do it with bent knees. Warrior one, inhale, step right foot forward. And we're working archer. So we'll go left hand down, or right elbow up, left elbow down. Warrior one, right elbow up. Connecting to breath. Left shin reaches away. Feeling if that translates as vertical movement through the low abdomen. Feel if that starts to translate up under the diaphragm, under the heart, under the lungs, under the shoulder. Yes, yes, Amy, yes. Yes. Oh, this is cool. This is cool. And when we release, we'll set the left knee down. Padding shall be nice for the left knee. As we place our hands on our hips, you can make fists or use thumb and forefinger. So often I have said to push the shin and the top of the foot down. Today, send them back. Oh, there's a little rewire. It's a glitch in the matrix. Feel the shin bones. Directionality back. Feel how that translates, not as forward motion of the belly, but vertical toward the head. And this is important. It is motion toward the head. It is motion toward the head. So if some of you have some Kundalini background or have some energetic or chakric experience, that's an important quality, is that upward downward relationship. So don't keep lifting all the way up under the lung, the heart, the diaphragm. Keep going. Okay, now go through the parts that aren't muscles. the gland, the breath. All right, release. Inhale, hands to ground. We'll do those two on the other side. Exhaling, we'll step that right foot back. Again, you can just play with the propulsion. That might just feel really good in the hips. Feeling how the shins going back moves the pelvic abdominal area forward. You can make that upward dog or cobra. Exhale, downward dog. The hands push that pelvic abdominal area back, right? All right, Archer Warrior 1. Inhale, left foot forward, right shin presses. We did it. Left elbow up, right elbow down. Really simple asana. But I hope we're making some cool connections, some new helpful connections. Feel that the right shin bones have rotation. And you can feel with great precision how when those shin bones rotate one way or the other, there is great influence through that pelvic abdominal cavity. There. So you might want to try this. Susan, feel the shin bones. That'd be the right shin bones. Just ever so slightly internally rotating. Yes, I think so. It's the quality of a little bit of an arch and pressing that outer heel edge of foot to the ground. There you go. So you can draw you can feel the rotation of the shin bones again. There it is. And there's that vertical. Yes, I think so. Based on what I can see. All right, release. We'll repeat the move. Right knee receives padding for lunge, hands on hips. And none of this has to be hard. None of this has to be done aggressively or even very muscularly. Just feeling, does the right shin bone have a directionality? Does the right shin bone and ankle bones have a rotationality? Rotation. There you go. Yeah, that was, and I can show you that in a moment. There you go. And does that translate as the torso, the core, the lower abdomen being propelled, supported vertically? Yes. Good. Let's release. How about you have a rest any old way that you want to have a rest? And I'll attempt to make this as visual as possible. Okay, so I'm seated. This is my right leg. This is my left leg in front of me. So I've kind of got my, right. Okay, so this is my right leg. I'm going to point this foot. So I've got a pointed foot, and you could do this with padding under the shin. Yeah, and when we get to the other side, so of course you can put layers of padding under the shin. That will help bring it all up. Okay. So this propulsion, another way you can just feel it is this way. That's it. Okay. The shin propels, and this navel area moves. And so you can feel how the shin bones rotate. They rotate this way, they rotate this way. Okay. If you want to play with this, you can manually push your shin try to propel. So I'm rotating my shin one way, and then you can rotate the shin the other way. And let's see, this is my right hand on my right calf. This would be like throttling my fingertips toward the ground. You can try it both ways. It should be, I think it will be immediately evident. So really, I'm just kind of turning my calf, but I'm turning my shin bone. The glute doesn't have to turn on. That might just be part of some habitual wiring. Yeah, if my perineum, tailbone area is rather soft, like there's activity, but I'm not needing to clench or activate my butt at this point. Let's trade sides and just, you can feel it on the other side. And of course, to be super clear, I'm not twisting my knee. I'm just intoning these rotations so I know and you know. Right, so I can throttle my calf and my shin a couple of ways. I can throttle my thumb down toward the ground, and I can throttle my 4 fingertips toward the ground. I think you'll find out exactly which one helps you. So it's kind of that reaching out through the big toe. I may have misspoken earlier, and I hope to not cause confusion. Let me stand and just show you. That's another way you could feel it. So I was saying internally rotate the shin bone. I think I had misspoken. You may be feeling it the other way. I guess it really depends on the position, right? So if I rotate, in, right? It's all for play. It's all for play. Because we're setting up camel. So let's pad the knees. And here's what I propose. Make camel super easy. If you have this image or this memory of camel being a very strenuous back bend and you're having to clench and squeeze all the butt, try this out. I'm going to show you this motion just so you can get a sense of the vertical kind of propulsion. Okay, so up. Sometimes when we're doing camel, and I just saw someone's beautiful camel, they took a nice little photograph of it and put it on the internet, but it was really interesting to see it because they had this really strong thing going on here and this really intense, almost like, and I'm rigidifying my hand to show the structure. So feel, this will be really light. Feel how the shins propel the glands and the organs toward the head. Okay. So I'm not even really leaning back. I'm not even really getting into back bend. I'm not even contracting my butt. This may feel like the laziest camel you've ever done in this system or style. So we're just going to play a little bit. You don't have to even hold it very long. We're just making these connections. You know, I showed you from seated how it's about feeling that, how the shins and the ankle can lift us up, move us toward the head, which is very different than pushing forward and then having to compensate with enormous levels of bracing and holding together. That's it, Amy, that's it. Yeah. And those of you really like comfortable and skilled feeling that energy from the low belly, you can feel that under the diaphragm and under the heart. So over the next several weeks, we'll feel how this plays through the thyroid and through the thyroid and the brain. So just setting the foundation. And right where your hands are, Yen, is where you can feel the upward, the vertical upward movement. How your hands are on the waist there? Yes. So shin down will translate as where your hands are, kind of effervescing up. There you go, that. There you go, that's it. Cool. And you can release whenever you like. Okay. No clench necessary. So let's have a seat in prep for bridge. Rather lie back for bridge. And even before we come up into bridge, you can feel if the shin bones have direction. I find this really fascinating in terms of when I think about all of the healers' responses to knee injuries that I've heard over the years, about it being kind of a missing of one's step, a faulty step, misstep, hesitant step, hesitancy. You can feel if there's hesitancy or kind of a scrambled quality around the knee, just above the shin joints, the shin bones. So you can start to feel the quality and the clarity of directionality through the knee and the shin before we even come up into bridge. And if you're ready to come into bridge, if you want to come into bridge, again, this is my perception. I'm not imposing this on anyone, but the clearer my shin direction is, the lighter and easier it feels through all of my pelvic, hip, low back area. And the fuzzier that directionality feels, the cloudier or the more chaotic it feels around the knee, the shin, the ankle, the more my hip and pelvis feel like there's compensatory holdings and clutchings and that's it. Yes. From what I can see, feel, there's a lot more clarity in all of the shins. All right. Let's begin our descent into Shavasana. Now, as long as we'd been doing camel in a very light, curious exploration way, I think your low back will be mostly great, fine. If you had been doing camel more as a strong back bend, you may desire a little more relief, like a little bit of a stretch or a twist. Is there an endeavor that you're really in love with in terms of stepping into it, moving toward it, enacting it, doing it, completing it, initiating it? You might bring that notion into what you're feeling from Shin to Gonads, second chakra. And when you're ready, bend knees. Gently and decisively turn to one side and press your way up to seated. Namaste.